Hi, I'm Mary Ann. I'm a singer-songwriter, and Dave and I were trying to calculate how many years, how many decades we've known each other. He has photos of me from like 30 years ago. And that was a really creative time in my life. I made 2 albums back then. And then the music went dark for about 20 years. And I painted during that time. But, I wasn't very good painter. I was better singer-songwriter than painter. But when you're a creative person, you have to do something. And it's funny, like by the time I got to the end of this painting period, I had turned 60, and the music came back. Just like that. Like, they were deliveries. And I started recording with my friend Nicola in Jersey City. He has a beautiful studio there. And long story short, I did the whole thing of starting to learn to record at home. I mean, God bless Nicola. He helped me learn it. And I'm just shocked at, I'm 67. I just turned 67. And I'm absolutely thrilled that I'm writing what I feel is the best work of my life. And I'm trying to get it all out fairly rapidly because I have a terminal cancer. It's called myelofibrosis. It's a very rare blood cancer. I had sort of the baby version of this for the past 20 years, which, they say you can live your whole life with that, essential thrombocythemia. But I was and that's rare too. That's when you have too many platelets, and I had all kinds of complications, like in the hospital all the time. And oh my God, I mean, I don't want to bore anybody, but, and then in 22, I had this oncologist, my regular hematologist oncologist sent me to this specialist in Hackensack, and this jerk, all right, 2 weeks prior, like, oh, the blood work is great, you don't have AML, acute myeloid leukemia, that was like a big danger of this, and never even mentioning myelofibrosis. And we did bone marrow biopsy, and I come back 2 weeks later thinking I'm in the clear. I brought a friend to the other appointment. I just came by myself, and he told me I had 3 years left to live. And I had to drive down I-95 with that information in my head. I don't know. I don't know how I did it. And then I needed food, so I stopped at Trader Joe's. And this woman pulls in next to me, and I don't know why I did this, but she was very friendly. I don't know, maybe we struck up a conversation, and I said, I just had a doctor tell me I had 3 years left. And she said, right now? like this just happened? And I'm crying. I'm like, I'm in a state of shock. I'm weeping. I never expected anything like that. And turns out she was a Christian missionary. And she thought she hit pay dirt with me. I mean, God bless her, really. She lived in her car. She had, Dave's laughing. She had 3 dogs. And, you know, she just thought I got this information and we had this remarkable coincidental meeting, and and she's going to save my soul. And I'm like, well, yeah, I got to go get, you know, a chicken or something. I don't have anything in. I mean, it was just so weird, right? You get that information. It's like, wait, you still have to go grocery shopping. So anyway, yeah, that was, oh, you know, 3 3/4 years ago, when the doctor told me that was in May. 20, was it 22 or I'm so bad at math. 22 or 20. Well, anyways, 3.5 years ago, and he told me on like May, say 23rd. So I went into my calendar in my phone, and I counted 3 years ahead. Yeah, so it was 22. I counted 3 years ahead to May 25, like May 23rd, 2025, and I wrote down expiration date. And I forgot all about it until May of, you know, you flip the calendar and you go into May. I'm like, what the hell is this? What is this? Anyway, you know, it's a challenge for sure. Oh, and that jerk in Hackensack, he wanted me to do stem cell transplant, which is like the most harrowing, risky operation I think there is. The rejection disease alone that you can get from it is just, I'm like, no, I'm good. I've been in the hospital enough, and but then you do what you're supposed to do when you get a diagnosis like that. When the oncologist says you have 3 years left to live, you get a new oncologist. So I went to Sloan Kettering, Dr. Stein. He's like, well, we don't follow those calculations. That's a lot of crap, you know, like. And then I went for third opinion. I was going, you know, I wanted solid, you know, opinions. And I landed at New York Presbyterian, and they have a center that, you know, is like totally cutting edge. Not that there's any cure, or, I mean, there's treatments to make you feel better if you have an enlarged spleen, but I don't have a spleen. They took that out. One of those operations. So anyway, I have good days. I have bad days. As a bonus, I've just been diagnosed with epilepsy. Did I tell you that? I was like, seriously? And not the grand mal kind. It's well, I forget what they're called, focal point or something. I thought I was having a stroke one night. And I try to avoid hospitals at all costs, you know, but I was like, something bad just happened, and I think it might have been a stroke. And I was in for 4 days. You know, they put the cap on your head for a couple of days, and I had a seizure while the cap was on. And this Friday, I'm going to a great neurologist. We've done a bunch of tests, and you know, I guess he's going to help me out. But I sleep so much. I can go into these jags where I sleep for 30 hours. And it's pretty awful. I can never predict when they're going to happen. And and that's been going on for like 5 years, and I'm wondering, oh, wait. Dave, I don't know if you know this. All right, so the epilepsy, I find out, most likely is not from the cancer. It's because I had a traumatic brain injury in 2017. You didn't know that? No. It's 2:30 in the morning. I had one of those cat poles for my cat, Olive. She's in the little hammock on the top, and it's leaning. I'm like, oh my God. She had already fallen out of it once before. So I'm so groggy. 2:30 in the morning, I climb the ladder. I'm up on the tippy top. I lose my footing. And I hit the floor so hard. I never hit my head, but my brain shook. I mean, I don't know if you can see the bumps, but within 24 hours, I was unconscious. And thank God everything went right in terms of who I was on the phone with and what neighbor was stopping by. And, you know, they had to remove a chunk of my skull, and the neurologist, you know, and then you have to go to rehab for a gazillion weeks. But that neurologist, you know, that neurosurgeon was like, you're in the top 95% of recoveries. Like, this is amazing. This is very rare that anyone recovers like this. But what they don't tell you is that 5 years later, is a 50% chance you're going to develop epilepsy. And yeah, so, I mean, I've had a lot go wrong, but I've had a lot go right, and the right is how much I love writing music. I'm getting deliveries like every week. I just can't even keep up with it, and I'm just, you know, and it's so great that we can record at home and really do professional work. But then you're also the label, like, you know, then you have to get it into distribution. You have to think of all the promotion. And sleeping is kind of my full-time job. And so I got to squeeze it all in. And then it's like, oh, it's terminal illness. Like, you know, I'm looking at my watch like, I better get these out in the next year. And I'm not joking. I mean, that would be awful if I couldn't get them out in time. But all you can do is the best you can do. And, you know, I was just sharing a thought with Dave a minute ago that as bad as having a diagnosis like this is, I'm more worried about America right now. For real. I don't sit around and worry about my cancer or my epilepsy or, what crazy thing is going to happen next. I'm sick about it. We all are. It just happens so fast. And I want, no country is ever going to be perfect, but I want my nieces to have the America that I grew up in when politics was boring. I wrote a joke song for social media. I wish that politics was boring again. And, I got to get a will done. I mean, if something magic happened and the songs made any money, I want them to have it. So I feel very grateful. For all the love in my life and for all the songs. I think that's it. I'm not this pain. I'm not this pill. I'm not this dogged iron will. I'm not this pain. I'm not this skin. I'm not this misery I'm in. I know one day I'll be set free, and I will be returned to me. I'm not this pain. I'm not this pill. I'm not this pain. I'm not this heart. I'm not the sum of all these parts. I'm not this hurt. I'm not these words. I'm not everything that's occurred. I know one day I'll get back home, and I won't feel so all alone. I'm not this pain. I'm not this pill. When I thought I'd tell my story, I'd go out in love and glory so famously. Everyone would see, praying I would be remembered lovingly and oh so tender. But as the end begins, really no one is. I know one day I'll be set free, and I will be returned to me. I'm not the same. I never will be me again. I'm not this pain. I'm not this